Well, hi, I'm Cassidy. I am the executive director of Klamath Film, and with me today is Eric Parnell, the director behind Further In. Eric, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, happy to join.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of have a really you started young with filmmaking, with some skateboard and snowboarding videos. So what has your journey to making film like Further In? How has that been just making movies?
Yeah. Um, yeah, like you mentioned, started kind of at a young age, just making videos with my buddies. I think it's a common story, electing to do a video for the school project at any opportunity. Um, and yeah, we actually had, this was in the 90s, but we had a like a filmmaking class at my high school. So we were using Adobe Premiere at its, kind of early stages. And I think even before that, in middle school, I had a class where we were using VHS like tape decks. So
Yes.
press play on one VHS and record on the other one, and doing linear editing that way. But um, loved it, and yeah, just like that we could kind of make cool videos and show things to our friends. And um, I think I did like the video announcements at school and stuff like
Oh,
that.
fun.
um, so yeah, I had an interest at a young age, and then after high school, I interned with a ski film production company over here in Bend, big ski and snowboard scene. And at that point, I kind of realized, like, wow, this could be a career. This is a job path. Um, and yeah, I think even then was interested in film, but that seemed kind of out of reach. I was doing little ski movies in a small town in Oregon, and pretty removed from Hollywood, which is where I thought everything was done at the time. Um, but yeah, I got married not too long after, and my wife is from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and so she she was homesick and wanted to go back that way, and I was kind of like, that's cool, but what am I going to do in the desert over there? Um, but I looked into it and found there's actually a thriving film industry in Albuquerque, a lot of shows and movies being shot there, and in the surrounding area of New Mexico. Um, so I did a film program out that way, got some hands-on experience. This was not, a traditional film school. This was like, if you want to work in the industry, you need to know your knots and how to set up a C stand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a great experience, and yeah, I got to work on some indie film projects over there and some commercial projects, and um, ended up working on some bigger things like some Marvel movies, and
Nice.
yeah, it was really fun, and learned a ton. And we ended up deciding to move back to Oregon, though. Just love it over here, our community, our friends, and
Yeah.
everything that's great about Oregon. Um, so I moved back, and at that time realized I kind of needed to set up my own shop for commercial video work. Um, I loved the film industry and the work that I did in it. There just was not much of a scene here in Bend. A little bit in Portland, but just for our lifestyle and our family, it worked better for me to kind of continue in the video world. But filmmaking was always still a dream of mine, and um, you know, one of those things that was like, someday I'm gonna do a narrative project. Someday I'll make my short or a feature or whatever. And yeah, it was coming up on my 40th birthday a couple of years ago, and or getting closer to it. I'm 40 now. And just realized that someday may never come if you don't make it happen. So that was kind of the impetus for further in and really getting motivated to do something narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all filmmakers, especially in our festival, can relate to just kind of trying to find that time and everything and balance production work and especially with full-time jobs and things like that. So definitely understand that for sure. And what is the name of your commercial production company?
The Northwest Collective.
Northwest Collective. Very cool. Love the name.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Well, neat. Yeah, so you directed this film and it was written by Rebecca Weaver. So how was it like working with the film team and just kind of bringing this vision to life from what was written down to what we see on the screen?
Yeah. Um, well, the story took a few different shapes. Initially, I tried to write this on my own, and had a version of it. And writing is something that I've kind of done on and off over the years, where I try my hand at it, and I'm not consistent enough or disciplined enough to rewrite things enough to make them any good, or not talented enough. Who knows? Um,
That's
but
surely not it.
we'll see. Um, but yeah, I kind of realized in my desire, like I just need to make something. I got to that point, like I mentioned, that if I don't do this, I may never do it. So I was motivated and just thought, okay, if I don't come up with a script on my own that I'm happy about or passionate about, that I want to create, then maybe I can bring in another writer and get some help. So
Nice.
um, yeah, I worked with Rebecca. I had actually worked with her previously. She was a writing coach. She does some of that. She's sold a couple screenplays and has her own writing experience. And she was doing some kind of freelance coaching stuff. So we were already working together. And when I came to a head with this project, I came back to her and was like, "Hey, would you want to have a hand at this?"
Nice.
And so yeah, she did a thorough rewrite and kind of made it her own, kind of using the backbone of what I originally had in mind, storyline wise, and just brought it to a whole new level. Yeah, it
That's
was really cool.
awesome. Very cool. Yeah. Throughout our three different levels of judging and everything, one of the comments that I saw a lot on was just like the great writing in it and kind of the story development and everything like that. So it definitely shows. And I think it just kind of is an attribute to the phrase teamwork makes the dream work because it can be really hard
Yeah,
when you have an idea and trying to do everything for it. So I always think it's a good idea to bring in other people for sure. So
awesome.
yeah. And it's such beautiful scenery. It feels very Oregon. So were there any kind of challenges to filming, where you were and scouting that location and everything throughout the filming process?
There was.
Yes.
It's a common story with filmmaking. There's always a lot of challenges. Um, Yeah, originally I thought about shooting it here in Central Oregon where we are, but my vision for the film was just a lot kind of greener and darker than the natural climate around here.
Mhm.
We're in the high desert. There's a lot of brown around here.
Same.
But yeah, on a desert. But I grew up in Eugene, where it's very green and lush, and have fond memories of hanging in the forest with ferns and just the beautiful landscape over there. And so kind of shifted to looking at shooting in the valley. And so I was talking with an art director at the time, and she said, "Well, there's this really great private family farm
Oh,
that's
nice.
wooded, and they have, I think, I forget what the arrangement is. So it's like they're not a conservancy, but they're not farming the land, so the trees are creating oxygen, and there's some sort of subsidization that they're paid to keep it that
Yeah.
way. But then another purpose is that one of the owners of the property is into film, has been a locations manager, and kind of has made it available to production. So um, yeah, we were able to work with them. The Kesey Family Farm is what it's called, and
Oh,
yeah, had our own little private forest where we could do what we wanted without permits, and um, yeah, it ended up being a really great location for our needs.
cool, awesome. And so how long did the filming take in total, kind of doing those wood scenes?
We It was a 4-day shoot
Nice.
in total, and yeah, we a lot of the crew was from Bend. Um, the DP on the film brought a lot of momentum to this project too. He he is a very successful commercial DP and travels all over the world for his work, and he kindly volunteered himself and his equipment, which was a huge blessing to the project. Um, and so, yeah, him and a few other of us from Bend, and then some Portland crew, some another person from Eugene, kind of our ragtag crew that we assembled. Most of us ended up staying at a retreat center just nearby the farm, which is in Vernonia, Oregon. And so it was kind of like summer camp. We had wake up, had the crew breakfast all together, go
Oh,
to set, just down the road, and came back and all slept in the same cabins. And it was a really fun, cool experience for us.
yeah, that sounds awesome. It totally sounds like summer camp. I love that. That's awesome. Just playing in the woods with your friends. So there you
Yep.
go. Awesome. Well, Eric, is there any like future projects that you're hoping to work on, kind of get the creative juices flowing outside of your, production work for commercial work?
Yeah, there's a couple feature scripts that myself and a couple friends are playing around with.
Nice.
Um, yeah, we don't have anything that's has a date on it or a definite plans, but we're working on it and definitely want to continue on this path. So
Totally. And for the Northwest Collective, what kind of films are you focusing on, or movies, pro videos are you focusing on with that? Is it more ski production work or just kind of anywhere that you can find?
yeah, we're mainly commercial focused. So right now, kind of focusing on CPG category. So snack foods, beverages. We did a
Totally.
great laundry detergent commercial.
Nice. It's
Um,
always fun though. With things like that, you can still kind of creative play with it, whatever
yeah,
shooting techniques you want to use and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. We're still telling stories. They're not necessarily stories that we're passionate about, but it's a lot of fun.
Totally. And it's all important. You got to pay the bills in order to do all your creative fun stuff too. So
Yeah, definitely.
awesome. Great. Well, Eric, we're so excited to have further in for our on-demand section of the Klamath Independent Film Festival. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And we're so looking forward to seeing other works that you cook up and submit.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.